Hey, when we ended season 1 of the Calling Mom podcast, I thought I had a pretty great picture of what this next season was going to look like. As it turns out, when life wants to change, it just does. And sometimes it can shift pretty massively in just a few weeks.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Calling Mom podcast. I'm Jaden.
And I'm CJ, also known as Mom.
Yeah, so welcome to season 2, everybody.
I am so excited.
This is so much fun. I cannot wait. I'm super excited for the season. Also, we upgraded. If y'all can't tell, we're off the couch. How's it feel?
I don't know. This just feels more natural. I'm a little bit, maybe slumping a little bit. But this feels good because, all last season we talked about my mic skills. Even when I was a preacher, though, like when I was, actively on stage preaching, like I was not a mic girl. Like give me something over my ears because I talk with my hands and I'm always flinging around.
Yeah.
And so all last season I felt like I did that with the mic. So got a little mic stand going on. So I'm excited about the table. Yeah. Still upgrading here and there. So I'm excited about this.
Yeah, we're super excited. We're honestly so blessed that this is season 2 and we're super excited. Today though, we're talking about like setbacks. So like just what does change look like, and is it okay to change like your mind? Sometimes I think it's like there's a lot of pressure on if you say one thing, you have to like write it out to the end, like say you're gonna wear this one outfit to your like friend, like honestly like that's where I go in my mindset of like you tell your friend you're gonna wear this one outfit, but then like all of a sudden like that outfit's dirty, something happens, and then you like something happens to the outfit and you're like I have to change it, but you feel like kind of like, oh, I have to change my outfit now. Like there's like this, like that's how I view it.
Okay, no, I kind of get what you're saying. I know this is just a mom-dad thing, but Rusty at night before, can totally lay out his outfits. He irons them. He knows. Yeah. And he's like, you need to do the same. And I'm like, you just don't know how I'm going to feel when I roll out of bed in the morning. Like, yes. I may plan for a dress, and then I get up, didn't check the weather. It's a little bit rainy.
Yep.
Ugh. Wearing dresses in the rain is just, water,
fun.
like splashing up on your legs and stuff. So I kind of, I like your analogy there. I like the clothes analogy. Although I think we're talking a little bit about life.
Obviously deeper, but this is, I was getting
but
into
I like
the conversation.
That, though. No, that it really makes sense.
Yeah. So we closed out season 1. How were you feeling? Did you think things were settled? How do you think we did? What has like life been looking like since season 1?
Oh gosh, I enjoyed season 1. I know season 1 really for me and you was that we wanted to add value to young ladies and to all those boys who we did not, young men that we did not anticipate that were going to tune in that have, and we appreciate you. We love you being a part of this community. By the way, you guys give the best feedback. The guys, your feedback is so valuable. But I think for season 1 for me was really just leaning in to, do we really want to commit to this? Like, is this something that we really want to do? It was an idea that was birthed. And I think for me, it was really kind of leaning into, are we going to commit to this? We've had a few little, not scares, but over the last few weeks, we've had a few, job applications. Yeah, I was like,
we can talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I mean, we've had a few job applications, so we have big plans on really building out this massive podcast space.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I mean, I feel like that was a little bit of a setback. We've upgraded a lot because we bought a lot of stuff to upgrade the area, but we were going to a whole different room. We were going to build it out.
Yep.
Well, then there came this moment where, hey, there may be a job opportunity.
Yeah.
Several states away. And I think, and obviously it's not me because I'm pretty planted in Birmingham. So, I think that even for us was, we're like a freight train moving ahead.
Yeah.
And then it was kind of like a little bit of a setback.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to lean, even even that is going to lean into this episode really well, because sometimes we can make those plans and we can do all that. But even the word says that we can make all these plans, but God guides our steps.
Exactly.
And I think that's pretty important in this episode. So do you want to tell them about what we're calling a setback, although it's not a setback?
Yeah. No, so my best friend lives out of town. I've talked about her so much on this podcast. She came and visited. I don't even know English anymore, guys. And she we were just talking, and I was like looking at my life now that I'm like, I feel in a great place. I'm mentally healthy, you know, I'm finally healthy. And then there was this job opportunity out there where she is, and I was just like, oh, this is a really cool opportunity that I would love to have. Like, I would be honored to have, and it's a really great church. And so I kind of like, without even talking to Mom about it, I was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm just going to apply for it. Like, I'm just going to go and do it. Which I think for both of us in the past year, it's been really great to see, like, because I'm a Velcro kid, guys. If y'all don't know, I'm a Velcro child. But so, like, I think for both of us, it was like a God wink of like, Jaden's like it's kind of like, okay, Jaden's okay now. Like, Jaden's finally back on her feet. She's kind of set, you know. And then I just like, so I applied in the interview process, and I just like was talking to God about it, and I was just like, God, I don't know anymore. Like, I'm so glad I did it, because I needed to know that I could. But, and we were like seriously talking about the podcast, like what it looks like if I'm like we even went to ChatGPT, and it was like, this is perfect for the calling mom. Yeah, we don't want to talk about that. So we did this whole thing, but then I was like really talking to God, and he was like, yeah, no, so I kind of want you to stay in Birmingham. And I was like, oh, okay, great. He was like, this is the perfect time. This is your safe place. You're 23 years old. You don't need to have it all put together yet. Like, you're only 23, you know, you're only 23 once, and you're early. I was married, guys, like when I was 22. So like, now being 23, this is like my prime years of like learning and growing and just like diving deeper into the word. Why do I need to be like fully planted? Or like, now if God calls me tomorrow, and obviously I'll go, but like right now, that's what he's teaching me, is like, this is the perfect place. This is a perfect opportunity for you to fail and pick yourself back up again, because there's people around you that's picking you back up, you know. And I also like, I have great community, and like, he just wanted me to pour more into that. So I think like at first it was a setback, because I told some like really important people, some people that like really mean a lot to me, and they're all like praying about it and like hyping it up. And now honestly, the kind of like changing my mind, the shift was like telling them like, hey, actually, I don't want to go. Like, I don't think God's wanting me to go. And I think like when we're in this world of like Instagram, everything's on Instagram, you know, you see like these bright, like, you know, like, oh my gosh, I'm going this place and I'm so excited. And then like when it doesn't pan out how you wanted it to, and how you posted about it and how you talked about it, it's kind of like that, like, oh, don't look at me, you know, like you kind of want to hide, because you're like, was this a setback? Did I just not like commit, you know, things like that. So I feel like I don't know where I'm going with it. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, let me ask you this question. So we told a lot of people about it. Now, I'm just going to be honest. I don't think Jaden is a Velcro child. I think she's always been super independent. However, in her independence, we've always been super, super close. Yep. I do think in the season that you walked through last year, I do think that you were a little more attached, which has given you this perspective that you're a Velcro child. However, one of the counselors that really Jaden and I both were seeing, it was really more pastoral counseling. Jaden was seeing him obviously in a much different capacity than I was, but I went to him on an occasion and kind of asked, like, you know, she's not wanting to really make decisions without running them by me first. And and he knows how close we are. And his advice to me in that moment was, when she stops coming to you for everything, when she stops asking your permission and she stops. And he was like, not that she doesn't value your opinion or your input. He was like, but you will see that before anyone. And I think that is the thing that I learned from even you putting yourself out there. Mm-hmm. I don't know that it ever really was about you moving or you taking a job or anything like that. I think even for me, it was just a moment of, okay, she seems ready to step into whatever God has next. And I think even the people that you shared that with all kind of knew that I had that conversation. So there was a lot of love and grace in it. But for me, it was more of a, okay, like I really feel like the door got closed on that chapter for you.
Yep.
And then it kind of set you in the right step for you to even be, if your growth is supposed to be here in Birmingham, then now you know that you're ready for that growth. But let me ask you this, because this goes back to the whole concept of the setbacks and change in your life. When you told those people that you're deeming like important people, and what she means by important people are people that she deeply respects, that have deeply poured into her prior seasons, this season. It's just people that she really looks to. When you make a decision like that, like, oh my gosh, I've put in for this church and they're 36 hours away and, and all this kind of stuff. Does the fear of disappointing them, how do you walk through that? Like, or is that something that you feel like?
With me changing my mind?
Yeah. Do you have a fear, of disappointing them now that you're like, yeah, maybe I don't want to?
Well, I think, like, obviously I know that it was from God. So, like, that kind of helps a lot of, like, I don't really care in the sense, but there is, like, this, like, weird feeling for me of, like, I just feel like, I don't know if it's embarrassed or, like, shame. Like, oh, I changed my mind, like, it feels to me, because I love to, if I commit to something, I stay with it. Like, in high school, I went through sports, and if I didn't like the team or if I wasn't having a good time, Mom and Dad wouldn't let me quit because we're not quitters. And so we just stayed with the team. Obviously it got better, but, like, I think now in my life, I'm like, I can't quit this, and it's kind of, like, so funny because there's just some things that God, like, plucks you out of, like, super quickly, and you think it's quitting, but it's not quitting, it's God just redirecting. And I think that's a mindset that I had to really work through of, like, okay, well, I know this isn't for me, and I know for a fact that this is not my feelings, this is not my emotions. It's like I'm listening to God, and I can discern which is His voice and what's my own, like, what your emotions are telling you. So I think, like, there is a little part of me, though, that's like, yeah, I don't want to tell them because, like, I didn't go through with it,
Right.
Like, I told one of them actually asked about it yesterday and was just like, hey, how's that going? I was like, I'm gonna be honest, like, I believe God's calling me here right now. Like, I'm 20, and I explained it to him exactly how I explained it to y'all. Like, I'm 23, I think this is the perfect time for me to learn and really figure out who I want to be. Like, I mean, life changed, guys. Life happened, obviously, my last year. But, like, now I get to, like, figure out who I want to be and, like, who, now that I'm 23 and I have, like, a brain, and so now I feel like I have a good head on my shoulder to be like, okay, Jaden, like, actually now, like, where do you want to be? Because this isn't, like, 18-year-old Jaden, you're putting her into college. Like, where do you want to go? Now it's like, okay, you're in the world, but you're in a safe world. Like, what do you want to do? What do you want to be? And so I think, like, honestly, when it's from God, it's kind of easier to tell people than if it's, like, from my own emotions. And I'm like, I was just too scared,
Well, let me tell you, and I think that this is, like I said, just the theme of this episode. But I think a lot of times that we can think that this is a really small detail, or maybe somebody just hasn't said it to you like this. It's okay to change your mind. Like, that is okay. I will tell you, I think there's a lot of pressure when you're in your 20s. I think the pressure, that I can really kind of laugh and joke about now.
Because you're not living it.
But when I was 18 years old, now, and I graduated high school early. So I was only 17 when I graduated high school. At 17 years old, I was supposed to know what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
Right.
Like, make the decision, because you're going to spend the next 4 years pouring into that in college. That's what you're going to do. And then after that, you're going to get married.
Yep.
You're going to have 2.4 kids. This is going to be the medium household income. This is what your husband needs to make. This is what you need to make. You need to be able to do this. Like, there was so much pressure. Well, then you have kids. And then it's like, oh my gosh, now you got to keep up with the Joneses. You got to go to this school. You've got to do this education. Your kids have got to play travel ball 8 days a week. And, you know, it was like all of this like craziness of like, you're always, now that I am nearing the end of my 40s, actually, I am at the end of my 40s. And now it's so funny because if there's something that I can instill in you at 23 that I wished I would have grabbed a hold a little bit earlier, is that the purpose of my life will never change. And if you're a believer, the purpose of your life is, bar none, we are here to grow the kingdom of God, to make Him known. That is the purpose. The greatest thing about that is that our assignments change. Our assignments change along the way. And it doesn't, but I think there's always that pressure, even going forward, of I don't want to disappoint the people around me. Even when you know God's changing the trajectory of your steps. No, I mean, like, when you're at my age, crisis doesn't have to happen.
Right.
Like it did for you to change your steps.
Right.
Like, I don't have to wait for something to happen to just pivot where I'm going.
Wow.
Because my purpose never changes. Only my assignment does. And, you know, I'm very passionate about the assignment area that God has given me.
Right.
Very passionate about where I am right now. But sometimes even in those moments, you can feel the hand of God kind of raise off of that. And it doesn't mean that maybe you're in the wrong place, but the grace that you're walking in may not feel the same. And you can feel that internally. So, you know.
That's good. Well, what about you? What were you certain about in January that you're now less certain about now? And like, or did something surprise you? You got it. I don't know. I don't think for me, from the end of the last season, season 1, to now, I don't know that there's anything. I have been in a waiting season for a little over a year now. Yep.
I know that God has been speaking something to me, and that door has just not opened. I have made it I have kind of made it a pillar in my life not to ever pray for patience, because that's the ongoing joke, because if you pay for patience, the only way to grow patience is for God to teach you to be patient. And so I always joke, like, I don't pray for patience. Do you know? And even in this season, I have not prayed for God to make me patient. What I've prayed for is that God would give me peace in the waiting. And I have seriously walked through this, and this season, and I know this is kind of a side note, when I talk about what I'm going through, God has not really released me yet to be able to speak kind of even publicly about what I've been walking through. I think everybody thinks it's about you.
It's me, guys.
I think everybody just thinks, oh my gosh, Jaden's, walked through this season of infidelity, and she's walking through the season of divorce. CJ, I'm so sorry as a parent, that you're dealing with this. And you're like, you know what, guys, I mean, God is so good.
He's so good.
And we have seen that. So even in the moments that have sucked, but even in what I've been walking through, but everybody just assumes that it's been about you, which, I'll be honest, it's not that that's been nice, but to keep my story, it's been kind of easy to hide behind that cloak. It's kind of been like the Wizard of Oz. It's kind of been easy to hide behind that
Yeah.
and just be, kind of, because I've had to learn walking through this that I've had to keep my circle small.
Yeah.
That I really couldn't share even on those hardest days.
Right.
I couldn't share with people outside my circle.
Right.
So just in this season of waiting for me, I think I've learned a lot. So not, no changes in my situation. And so really just nothing's really changed other than, we've really been focused on the podcast.
Yep.
And season 2 and what we're going to talk about. We've taken a lot of little day trips or, just like, not day trips, but, Birmingham outings and things like that. So that me and you could just talk through, what we're going to talk about, going a little bit deeper, being more intentional with what we're talking about, I think, this season.
Yeah, I'm super excited about it. You made a good point earlier about how it doesn't have to be loud. So, like, not all change has to be loud. Yeah. And so for you, like, what does internal shift happen that no one else, like...
Internal.
Oh. Internal. Guys, it's forever.
Yeah. What
is internal? Yes, and it's inside you. What's eternal shift that happened that no one else saw? Like when you were growing up or when you were in your 20s, like, I guess.
I think the biggest one in my 20s was really my salvation. I think that was the major shift in my life that was very external that everybody seen, because I was night and day different. Like, I am an all-in person. And if I'm going to just be frank, if I'm going to live like hell, I'm going to live like hell. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, I mean, here I was, in my late teens, 20s, living like that, living with just carefree, free, and externally, everybody could see my life changed drastically.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Right.
Overnight, because I am the person who will go in and I clean it out. If I'm going to go on a diet, refrigerator, watch it. Do you know? I go in, I clean it out.
Yeah.
I do that. I compartmentalize like that. So, but internally, that was a massive struggle in my 20s, because at the same time, I had all these friends who weren't believers.
Yeah.
I was starting relationships with all these people who were believers. And then the internal struggle of, oh my gosh, do I really want to be a teacher the rest of my life? and right before that, I went through even my original major was psychology. Those people wrecked me when I got saved.
Right.
I mean, just wrecked me. So I swapped my major over to, I want to be a teacher. And then it got to be, I want to do this the rest of my life. Well, before I finished college, God called me into the ministry. That was a hard walk with me, because I was in a Baptist church that really don't champion women to be called the way God was telling me that I was going to walk out ministry. And for me, that was so a lot of internal things, because you have, I'm very reserved, I think, in public. I think a lot of people you guys get to see me a lot different than other people do. Like, I don't think people who meet me up front know how soft I really am. I think I come across really like strong, like I've got it all together. I think people just think that of me. And I think you guys get to see the fact that I think I'm a hot mess and I own it. And I think maybe that's what people see in public. I think that they see the fact that I'm confident, but I'm not confident in myself. That's not where my strength comes from. And, I get better every day. And so anything that I feel like is a setback or that I'm processing internally, I have my people that I share it with. that I'm close to,
Right.
and they get to see that stuff. I think outside though, people never get to see what I'm walking through because I am very choosy and picky about the people that I share my inner and internal things that are going on.
Yeah.
But I live off the scripture. When I am weak, he is strong.
Yeah.
And so when I'm processing something internally, well, I've got that eternally on my mind right now. But when I'm processing something internally, I think it's just to make sure that I'm giving it to him.
Yeah.
So
I like that. What fear kept you stuck in
what fear keeps me stuck?
or kept you stuck? Like during a season of your life, what fear kept you in a place where you know that you weren't supposed to be? Or
What fear kept me stuck to change?
just stuck? Yeah. I guess in it to change.
I've always have said that, like, I'm not fearful of. I actually love change.
Yeah.
So when it comes around, like, I feel like I'm pretty great at just kind of jumping all in. However, the Lord knows how He built me, and I always kind of get a glimpse. Like, I can, in my gift of discernment, I can always start to discern when the Lord is making a shift like that. And so for me, it's definitely, I've never really had to walk in the fear of, I don't care about disappointing people. Like, I don't care about that kind of stuff. I have an audience of one, but if I'm going to be honest, in this season that I have now, the Lord told me a couple of weeks ago, and we were sitting in church, and we're in church a lot, or not necessarily church like the building, the church. We go Big C Church around our around these neck of the woods, and so there's a lot of times that we're just in rooms, where the Holy Spirit is ready and willing, and in what I've been walking through, the Holy Spirit showed me that really what I've been walking through is fear.
Yeah.
And I really had to take that, because I was like, excuse me? But it was an area of certain areas that I was afraid of, not necessarily losing, but it was in the overall picture of what I was going to lose, that I was letting little fears of, oh, I can't talk to that person, or I don't need to step into that, or I don't need to go over there and do that.
Yeah.
Even though I knew that the Holy Spirit was prompting me to do certain things, I would be captive with fear of, like, oh, I don't know if I can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should do that. And I didn't realize that there was a spirit of fear that was keeping me from stepping into certain things in the moments. Now, this isn't like big grand picture. These are just little things in the moment. I'd say about, okay, maybe this has happened since January. Maybe this is the big thing. But stepping into that, I realized that, oh my gosh, like, I am letting fear win. And I'm going to tell you, there was such a moment that I got on my knees. I went to praying. Okay, now I know exactly where I was. I just got that mental picture of, okay, I can see myself on my knees. I know where I was. And the Lord was speaking to me and saying, hey, God, these little things, they're adding up. They're adding up. And I am not going to let a human make me fearful of something I know you're calling me to do, or not even that you're calling me to do, that you're just telling me to do in this moment, and so I was letting fear win. So about 3 weeks ago, I thought, you know what? Okay, I got it, God. And I had to start praying, God, I need you to restore that peace that's in me. And I know we want to talk about stuff that is really practical, but what I'm walking through, I'm just going to tell you, it's not, what I'm walking through is not practical. And I have to know that as I walk through it, that it's got to be God, that he has to be my source of everything. But, so being fearful is a real thing and being stuck. But I think for me, my fear isn't necessarily disappointing people.
Mm-hmm.
I think my fear is disappointing myself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like I want to do what God's called me to do, but then a lot of times man gets caught up in that and will sway what I'm doing. So a lot of times I just have to write the track, you know, and be in that. I think for you though, in your 20s, what is it that you fear? Like if you're going to make a change or you're going to make, what is it? Is there a fear that like swells up in you?
Not doing what people expect of me. Kind of like you said you don't have a fear of like disappointing people, but like holy moly, I think like now, especially because now that I'm back, I'm like if I go a little like I'm enjoying my 20s, okay, like not like going crazy or whatever, but I'm enjoying like being 20 years old and like living life. And I think like I think today like I felt like I wasn't even called to like I have to pray about this, guys, so I'm just talking to you guys because I blabber a lot, but probably why we're great for a podcast, because I blabber. But I think honestly, like right now, I don't think that I want to be planted in a church. And so I think like me saying that when I was at a church, or when I like, it's not what's expected, because everybody expects me to go work for a church, and you know, and that was the dream. And now it's like I don't know if that's what I want, you know. I don't think it's, yeah, anyway. So I think like me honestly disappointing people of like their expectations of me, because I have high expectations for myself.
Yes, you do.
I've always have. But I have high expectations for myself, and I think other people have those same expectations for me, and that's where I get like a little discombobulated. It's because they don't really actually have those expectations of me, but it's just in my head that they do. I'm assuming what they I'm assuming what I think they think of me, or like what they expect of me. And so I think that's a fear of like when I tell, like even saying that I don't think I want to work for a church is like, oh my gosh, I just disappointed so many people right there. You know, like that's me saying that out loud without like.
Yeah, but that's just going back to maybe that's not the assignment right now.
No, but I know, like, but what I'm saying, yeah, I agree. But what I'm saying is like, I think just the fear of like not, like if I say I don't, little things, like if I don't enjoy my job, you know, like if I say something like that, then it's like, well, Jaden, you work at like the greatest place ever, and I do. So like, don't get this twisted, but like hypothetically, if I was to say like I don't like my job, then and people are like, what are you talking about? You know, it's kind of like I'm like, oh dang, I shouldn't feel these things. Like it kind of like, but they don't do that. I think I'm just blabbering actually, but I have a fear of disappointing people for real, and it's really bad. Like me just blabbering like this, I'm like, oh, okay, so I just, but yeah. Anyways,
Well, I think the biggest thing is just knowing that in these seasons where change is going to happen, and you have to pivot in the moment, or you know, like if you're in your 20s and you're changing majors, or you're in your 20s, you know, and you want to change jobs, you know, one of the greatest things that I've ever heard said, and I have no clue who coined this. It could have been, I don't know, John Maxwell, Craig Rochelle, Chris Hodges, who knows. But your 20s is made for growth. And I think that for you and majority of our listeners out there who are in their 20s is that, you don't have to have it figured out. I think one of the things with me and Jaden, to be honest, one of the reasons I think that we are always so close, that we've always been so close. And Rusty and I have just always been honest with our girls. And we can make a parenting decision in the moment and be 100% committed to our decision. But we were very humble after that to go back to the girls and be like, you know what? We made the wrong decision. Or this wasn't right. We told you. We always, it was never, I said it, it's got to be this way. Or what was that? There's a famous line that parents, don't do as I do, do as I say do. That's the one I was thinking of. But that was kind of the thing, is like, I think there becomes this sense of pride, like I'm the parent and I've got to have it all together. Well, we would go and ask even, hey, we're really sorry that we made this decision. We're okay, and let's move forward. And I think, like, in your 20s, you've got to, you're learning. Yeah. You're growing. But when you get to my age, like, it's still okay. We're still learning. We're still growing.
You're your age for the first time too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, this is the first time I've parented adult children, and it's a real thing.
A new divorcee daughter that's 23 years old.
You hush. That does not define you. But no, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, seriously, like,
yeah,
it's a whole lot easier sometimes to walk through, no, you can't go to the dance with that young man, and that's my final decision, and I don't care if you don't like it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it could be, like, those were hard conversations. I did not like telling you and Haven no for anything. Like, I would have done anything to have given you the world.
Like, she's never had to tell me no to a boy. I've always had a great discernment on that.
Most of the time.
I was like, wait a minute.
Okay. Anyway, but that was, like, there's just those moments where in the moment, oh my gosh, that would have tore me up. Mm-hmm. To have told you guys no on something that I knew that you really had your heart set on, and then we would just say no to it. Now I'm parenting adult children for the first time. And I know that when, I don't necessarily have to parent you like, hey, come in at this time, or go to bed at this time, or did you do this? Or, like, I'm not having to do stuff like that. But now you're asking questions that are really tough. Like, I want to be able to give you good, godly, sound advice. But even me, I've got to have somebody over me that I'm looking at that's saying, hey, you've got good grown adult children, and you have grandchildren now, how are you doing that? So I'm looking at women who are older than me, who have, children my age, or children that are the same age of me. I have Nana is great. My mom is absolutely wonderful and always gives really great advice most of the time. She does not give great advice to her grandchildren, because she does say yes all the time. I guess as a grandparent should and will always do.
She does.
And she does. She always says yes, but she always has their
Listen,
their best.
She'll I was like, she'll tell you how it is. Trust me.
She does. So we like to pick on Nana, but she is really the best. So there's a lot of times where even I can go back to moments, and so it is hard. But I think the biggest thing is that you have to make those decisions, and they're tough. Okay,
so if you're talking to somebody that's not me,
okay,
but you act like they're me.
Always.
What would you say, like, if they're struggling to, like, either make a decision, they're kind of in, like, this little, like, should I not, they're questioning, is it from the Lord, or is it just my emotions, like, what were some advice, like, just little takeaways as we, like, finish up this episode, like, to give them?
Okay. The one thing that I would be praying is for discernment. Mm-hmm. Like, look, we use emotions like that they're this negative thing.
Right.
But God is so good that he gave us something like emotion so that we could feel things, and that we could be in the moment, and and have this, like, oh, this is amazing. Oh, this sucks. This is terrible. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have all this. So just because it feels crazy doesn't, so you need to be praying, God, give me discernment. Is this from you, or is this something that I'm really feeling?
Yep.
Find someone So if we were sitting down across from each other,
Right.
find someone older and wiser than you that can ask you the questions
Yep.
to walk you into whatever season, help give you clarity around whatever it is. Here's the other thing. Growth doesn't always have to be big and loud. Growth happens.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, most of my growth has come through the hardest parts of my life. I would love to grow on the mountaintop when everything's good. But I can already see, even when what I'm walking through this past year,
Right.
I have grown so much. Here's my take from that. God's not comparing me to other people. So I shouldn't compare myself to other people.
That's good.
My growth may not look like the lady sitting to my right or the lady that sits to my left.
Yeah.
And I may be comparing me to them, and that's not necessarily how it is. I know that God is refining me and no one else around me.
Yep.
My refining and the season that I'm walking through is for me and for me alone. So whatever your growth is, it's for you. So know that and own that. Find someone older. Pray for discernment. Know that your growth doesn't look like anyone else. But I think here's the biggest one. You don't have to apologize for changing. You can grow and you can change. Your life can change today, and you don't have to apologize for it.
That's great. Oh my gosh. I'm not even going to add to that because I think we should end on that. That was actually incredible, Mom. That was really good.
Great.
But anyways, hey guys, we're so excited for season 2.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to this episode, and we'll see you guys all next week.
Bye.
Bye.